Hi Reefers, so I've just been asked to do a video of my Fluval EVO auto top off. So that's what this video is all about. It just so happens that the auto top off that I use on my tank, I've got another one for my frag tank that's cycling. Familiarity for me. The reason I've gone for this again is because I know it inside out. The only problem with this is me. That's the only issue I've ever had. I know how it works, I know everything about it, which is great because I don't want to be starting at the beginning again and go through the teething problems, and I just want to get it set up and I'm away. I've done all the hard work, I've learnt about it, so this is it. This is the TMC refill. It's for smaller tanks, so it's got a tiny little pump I can put through the head of the container that I use, which is perfect. It's been rock solid, like I say, 18 months I've had it on there, no issues whatsoever. I had one issue that was my fault and I managed to get water on the floor, but completely user error. So yeah, I'm going to take you through the tank and how it's set up, my containers. Then I'm going to just open the box, show you all the bits and pieces. So yeah, let's get to it. Okay, so here is the stand. I think you've pretty much all seen it before. So what I have done for the auto top off is I've got a container in here. Let me just slide that out. Now in that container I've got my pump, my TMC refill pump, and I've got the supply hose that pumps the water out, up when required, into my tank. So as you can see, let me pull this off. That's the brains of the tank. So where I've mounted my refill is just here. There's a magnet on the back, and this one on the left is the sensor, so the water level, when it drops off the sensor, it pumps it automatically, sends a signal to here, says I need some water, starts the pump turns on, goes up. I've just drilled a hole there, I've cable tied the power cords together so just keeps it tidy, and I've just popped it out there, and it goes, and this clip comes with it, and it just goes into this chamber. It doesn't really matter which chamber, it's just that's kind of how I have it set up. So this is the overflow, so if this level goes above, so say this one failed and the pump was just going and going and going, this one would tell the controller to cut off, stop completely. So yeah, that's kind of how I do it, and it just fits in there. 10 litre drum just fits nicely in the bottom right hand compartment, but you could put it anywhere. It depends on, you know, if your tank's reversed, you could pretty much do it anywhere. I think these cables on the back, I've still got it's just moving house, but I'm going to be tidying those up and just keeping them. They need to be accessible for, you know, when I'm cleaning the pump and things like that. I need to be able to get to them and unplug them, so that's why I can get to all the plugs and things. I mean, some of it is cable tied, so I know it looks a mess, but I do know where everything is, and it is untangled. So yeah, there you go. That's the ATO. That's a brilliant bit of kit. I think it's a must really when you for that stability, and that's how I do it. And like I said, I've had it up and running for 18 months, and it's been absolutely rock solid, no issues whatsoever. One thing I do, and obviously you need to make sure these are cleaned. If this gets salt creep on, which it doesn't anymore, but it used to, it'll send an audible alarm. It'll start beeping. So just make sure that that's cleaned. I just literally, I don't press too hard because it's only magnetised on, but I just wipe my finger. And every time you check it, just check that you haven't moved the level of it, otherwise it'll be pumping water or yeah, pumping water in or won't kick in because you've pushed the sensor down. So you have got to be careful with them. It's not like it's stuck in place. It is a magnet. So when you're taking pumps and things out, all you have to do is make sure that this is back in the right place, and you get used to that. Like I say, familiarity. You just get used to where to put it in there, so you know it's going to keep on top of things and keep everything good for you. Okay, so here we go, the unboxing, and just show you what's in there. So we've got a sleeve over the main box. Then we've got a nice little up and over lid. Instructions. I've been through these, so I know they're good instructions. Like I say, simple product. Instructions are pretty straightforward. We've got 2 meters of this tubing, so this takes the, I mean, look at this thing, how tiny is that? And this is what I say, this goes straight into the top of my 10-litre container that fits nicely into my stand. So you've got 2 meters of tubing. Tubing goes from here all the way to the top of the tank, which you've seen in the middle section of this video. You've got the brains of the whole thing. So this is audible and obviously cuts off. So it makes a noise. So if the pump runs dry or it's overfilled, or there's always an audible and a cut off. So yeah, pretty nifty little piece of kit it is. You've got the sensor for the overfill. So if this sensor faces up, if the water level rises up past, then the cord goes back to the brains and says cut off completely. So that's your fail-safe infrared sensor. This is faces the other way. So when the water level drops, and it's no longer submerged, these are optical sensors, it tells the pump to kick on and it rises the water level up. So these sit in opposite directions, and they sit in this is the 2-part magnet. So glass in between, sandwiched on, and then your sensors, one sits that way and one sits the other way, and it's just getting this level right, as I kind of explained earlier, just getting this right, and that's the familiarity part of it. It's just getting used to knowing how these sensors work and getting that level just right. So yeah, we've got the infrared holder, magnetic holder, and we've got the power supply just there. Plenty of cable for what I need anyway. And then we've got our little bits. This is quite an important part. So in your line, you would make a cut, and it shows you in the instructions which way round this goes, but it is directional. There's a little arrow. So you put one piece of hose onto that side, one piece, and it's an air brake. So if water gets into the top of your pipe at the tank, it won't siphon back, because once that starts to siphon, it'll just pull the water out of your tank. If the hose in the tank was, fell in, then it's going to pump it. It's going to siphon it back into your container, which you don't want. That yeah, it's one of those things that tiny but important. And then you've got this little cable holder, so that clips onto your tank, and like I showed you earlier, it just holds your cable. That's the bit where the cable goes through, and it just clips on, and you can put that where you want, really, just to have the end going into whichever chamber or whichever part of the tank that you want to. So there you go.
I say it looks simple. I know when you do things for the first time, same for me when I first set this up, and you're like, oh, what does that do? What does this do? And it's just get familiar, and I'm really familiar with it now. I wouldn't try anything else just on a whim. I'm always up for trying things. I'm not one for, you know, shying away and, you know, try things and try and get better. But it's a very simple principle. I want to get water from a bucket into my tank when it's needed to keep my salinity stable. It's a simple process. It should be kept simple. The less mechanical parts, the better. These are all mechanical parts. There's mechanical parts in there. There's the switch lives and things like that that make it a mechanical part. So you can't do away with all the mechanics, but you want it to be reef safe, which obviously these are, and you want it to do what it says on the tin is exactly what you want it to do. That's what you pay your money for. So there you go, guys. Again, that's what I'm using, and I'll carry on using it. I don't see any reason. I know there's a lot of people that have the tunes and different things, and rightly so. You know, there's a lot of products out there, and they've all got their merits. But it's what I'm used to, and I like familiarity. So, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing; it helps me along, and it's good to have more viewers. I like sharing my knowledge. I'm by no means an expert at all, but I know my tank, I know my gear that I have, and I like to share that knowledge. So, yeah, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers, guys.